Hello and welcome to ServiceNow User Interface training. This video is intended to help you understand the new features in New User Interface that will be available after the ServiceNow upgrade. By the time you watch this video, ServiceNow will be upgraded to the latest version and you can experience New User Interface, which is technically called UI 16. I will be talking about each of the options listed here and we'll do a live demonstration to make you comfortable with all of these options listed here. At the end of this video, you will be able to define and use all of the features listed here. Let's quickly go through the list. Banner frame, application navigator, history, search, application filter, favorites, help, and settings, and some of the options that are nested within these features. Comparison between current user interface, which is UI 15, and the new user interface, which is UI 16. Let's go ahead and compare between these two user interface and see what are the different changes we have and a quick overview between these two user interface. Here we go. I am on test instance and I have logged in as a test user. For the purpose of this training, I have logged in as a normal user. That means anyone who doesn't have any additional roles in ServiceNow. For those who have additional privileges and additional roles in ServiceNow might see additional applications here over this area, and however the look and feel is generic across all the users. Okay, so let's go ahead and compare between the current UI and the new UI. For the purpose of this training, I would like to break this page into three components. On the top over here, this section is called the banner page. As you can see, the banner, which is Global Foundries, and some text here to describe about what instant is this all about. And in this section, we also have the username. And if you want to impersonate, this is an impersonate option. This is in the current user interface, which will be a little different in the new user interface. And what we have here in the banner page is logout button as well as the settings button. This portion over here towards the left side margin is called the application navigator, and you also have the application filter. This search button is called application filter, and the middle page, what you can see between these two frames, is called the body. And you might also notice that we have the edge bar in the current user interface. And let's check out how the page looks in the new user interface. This is the new user interface, and what we can see here is the banner frame, and we have the Global Foundries logo and the description of the instance. And towards the right, we have the user profile and username available here. In addition to that is a global search and a help button together with the settings for customization of this window. And towards the left margin, we have the application navigator. This portion here is called the application navigator. And we also have the application filter navigator. And yeah, of course, the body page. In general, there's not much changes between the current user interface as well as the new user interface. Everything looks pretty much the same. However, some of the options has been reorganized in a better way. For example, the username of the profile has been moved towards the right, and the global search button has been placed within the banner frame. And we have the help button, and some of the options here, which is the favorites and history, has been customized within the application navigator. and we will be talking about each of these options in a while. Application Navigator is, as I mentioned before, the left margin portion over until here is the Application Navigator. And yeah, let's quickly compare the Application Navigator features between the current UI and the new UI. And let me switch to the current UI, which means when I say current UI, you might be in the latest UI. However, for the purpose of this training, the current UI refers to the UI 15, User Interface 15. So I am on the Application Navigator. When I click on the application, it expands and collapses and gives me all the modules within the application. And it should be pretty much the same way in the new user interface, which is UI 16. When I click onto the application, it expands and gives me all the modules within the application, and it works exactly the same way. Application filter is this one. The search box on top of the Application Navigator is called Application Filter Navigator. And what this does is basically, if you have a lot of applications, and in this video you only see one application, which is self-service. However, people with additional privileges and additional roles will have a lot of applications, and it would be hard for them to find out, scroll all the way down to find out the modules within the application. Therefore, it becomes easy if you search here. For example, I want to search my approval. Yeah, there you go. So it brings up my approvals. Let me try HR. Yeah, so it brings up all the modules within an application, and it becomes very easy to navigate within the filter. Favorites. Let me switch to UI 15, and the star button over here is called the favorites. When you click onto it, it will give you all your favorite items, and if you click onto it again, now it will give you all the modules within an application. So you could notice that the star button is placed right next to the filter navigator, and let's check out how it is placed in the new UI. Yeah, so it is placed underneath the filter navigator, and however, it is within the Application Navigator portion, which is the left margin over here. You can notice that some of the items are marked as star. That means these modules are marked as favorites. And if I click onto the star, it would give me all my favorite items over here. So let's check out how it works. For example, I want to mark my approvals as favorites and my closed incidents as favorites. And let me check out how it appears over here. Yeah, so I could see my approvals and my closed incidents as my favorites. Alright, so what do I do if I want to remove them from my favorites? Just click onto it again and the star button will disappear. And that means, yeah, my approvals, that means it would clear from your favorite items. In user interface 15, there's no way to find out the histories unless, you know, if you click onto the search button over here, as well as in the global search. If you have recently searched for some things, it would you know, show you the last searched list, and that's how you can find out the histories. However, in the new UI, user interface 16, there's a separate tab where you can navigate your history items, and if you click onto your history, you can find all your you know, recently accessed request, and the reference number is documented over here. When you click onto the record, it would take you to that page. Let me do that one more time. When you place your mouse onto the tab, it would give you some help text. Then this works for all of the options like favorites and applications, and as well as your history. Okay, so just click onto the history tab, and yeah, you can find all the recently accessed reference numbers. This is a nice feature. If you happen to forget the request number that you want to search for, don't worry, just come here and click onto your history, and you can find all your reference numbers here which you recently accessed. Banner frame, as I have walked you through in the comparison between the current user interface as well as the new user interface, the top section over here is called the banner frame, which has the Global Foundries logo as well as the description of the instance. And as we are discussing about the banner frame, I would like to highlight that the color code, what you see here, reflects the instance code. That means the green is for testing, and you would find a different color code for each of the instance for development as well as for production. So let me quickly show you a development instance, or let me show you the production instance. Yeah, so the gray color means production instance, and for development you will have a different color code. So that's on the banner frame. And the options on the banner frame, you have the user profile and the logout button as well as the settings button. Okay, so in the new user interface, it's pretty much the same way. We have the logo and the description of the instance, as well as the user profile, the global search, help button, and the settings button, which is the gear wheel for customization. This is on the banner frame, and we will be talking about each of the options within the banner frame in a while. Global search, it's a nice feature. And why is it named as global search? Because we have search button in multiple areas. For example, we have a search in the filter, and if you go into the applications, you would find the search option within each of the applications, and you also have a search button over here, which is on top right corner of ServiceNow. So the global search means it is a common search box for all the applications. Regardless of the application, you can search for the information here in the global search. And let's check out. In the new user interface, the global search button is placed right next to the user profile within the banner frame. And if you click onto it, it would expand and allow you to type and search for some informations. And as I mentioned, this is a global search, meaning regardless of the application, you can search for any of the information in the global search. The help button is placed underneath the settings button in user interface 15. You can find the help button over here. Whereas in the new user interface UI 16, the help button is placed right next to the settings button over here within the banner frame. So when you click onto it, you would find some options like what's new in this current user interface, and the user guide, some of the basic functionalities and features that you can navigate through, and search product documentation. This will take you to the ServiceNow page. So let me click on to user guide, and I hope that user guide basics would help you understand further on each of the options listed here. Settings. Let's jump to user interface 15. This is the settings button. When you click onto it, it expands and gives you some of the features to customize, like the tab forms and accessibility enabled view, compact view, wrap longer text in the list columns, and the date time function, split layout, and related list loading. So let's check out these features in the new user interface. Alright, so how does it look like? It is well customized and nicely arranged. It is further classified into general, theme, and forms. General page has the accessibility enabled, compacts the user interface, wraps longer text, compacts the list date and time functionalities, as well as the time zone and printer friendly version button over here. So time zone, you pick any of the time zone depending upon the region that you are in. And the date and time function over here has three options, which is calendar, time ago, and both. When you choose the calendar, this would give you the exact date and time value, whereas the time ago would give you the relative time information, which I would be showing you in a while. And when you choose both, it would give you the exact date and time value together with the relative time that is documented. So let's navigate between these options. For this demonstration, let me impersonate to my profile. Okay, let's see this. Opened, it has the actual time and actual date and time logged. Let me switch to one of the other options and see how it looks like. Let me choose the time ago. This is the relative timing, and let's see how it works. Yeah, so now you would see the relative information of the timing, which is 12 days ago, 14 days ago, and you would not see the actual date and time. And if I switch to both, yeah, you would find the actual date and time, and as well as the relative information that is documented underneath 12 days ago and the actual date and time. So this is how it works in the new user interface, and it works exactly the same as UI 15. You also have these three options, which is calendar, time ago, and both. That means there are not much difference between the current user. Okay, so we are now at the end of the ServiceNow user interface training. We would be more than happy to receive your comments and feedback. So feel free to write to us itsm.drs@globalfoundries.com, or you may also write to my manager Frank Warkus. Okay, so thank you for watching the video, and I hope this video will be helpful for you.